Snake and ladders.
Snakes and Ladders, a worldwide classic board game. Navigate your piece from start to finish. Avoid the snakes and take shortcuts going up the ladders. The origins of this game are found in ancient India, where it was known as Moksha Patamu. A player moving up the board represented life's spiritual journey, complicated by virtues, the ladders, and vices, the snakes. Equipment: snakes and ladders board, playing pieces, and one die. Setup: before the game can start, each player will roll one die. The player who throws the highest number will be the one to have the first turn. How to play: each player puts their counter on the space that says start here. Take it in turns to roll the dice. Move your counter forward the number of spaces shown on the dice. If your counter lands at the bottom of a ladder, you can move up to the top of the ladder. If your counter lands on the head of a snake, you must slide down to the bottom of the snake. The first player to get the space that says home is the winner. Game rules: when a piece comes on a number which lies on the top of a snake, face of the snake, then the piece or token will land below the bottom of the snake, tail of it. That can also be said as an unlucky move. If somehow the piece falls on the ladder base, it will immediately climb to the top of the ladder, which is considered to be a lucky move. Whereas if a player lands on the bottom of the snake or top of a ladder, the player will remain in the same spot, same number, and will not get affected by any particular rule. The players can never move down ladders. The pieces of different players can overlap each other without knocking out anyone. There is no concept of knocking out by opponent players in snakes and ladders. To win, the player needs to roll the exact number of die to land on the number 100. If he or she fails to do so, then the player needs to roll the die again in the next turn. For example, if a player is on the number 98 and the dice roll shows the number 4, then the player cannot move its piece until he or she gets a 2 to win or 1 to be on the 99th number.
Exercise.
Snakes. When a player lands on a top of a snake, their playing piece will slide down to the bottom of the snake. Whereas landing on the bottom of a snake, the player will remain in the same spot until their next turn. Ladders. When a player lands at the base of a ladder, it immediately climbs to the top of the ladder. Whereas landing at the top of a ladder, the player will stay there until the next turn. The player does not move to the bottom of the ladder. Winning the game. The first player that reaches the highest space on the board, 100, wins the game. To win, the player will need to roll the exact number to get you the last space. If the player rolls a higher number than needed to land exactly on 100, their piece does not move and remains there until their next turn, when they can roll again. The bounce back variation. The first player that reaches the highest space on the board, 100, wins the game. To win, the player will need to roll the exact number to get to the last space. For example, if a player had 4 spaces to get to 100 and rolled a 6, the piece will move 4 spaces to 100, then bounce back 2 spaces to 98.